Hey everyone, welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Subdivision in HO scale. My name is Daryl Kruse, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 40, the Big 4-0 of season 2022. Believe it or not, we've added some more trackage, this time on the other end of the layout at Aspen. This is just east of Evanston, and it is going to be right above Morgan on the lower level, and this is going to represent the Aspen Tunnels, and you can see going into the what will be the tunnel portal for these two tunnels. And we were able to put not only this part together and get some trackage going, but we also were able to get some additional bench work going even further east from this point. So we are so close to getting things connected together. I wanted to mention I had a special visit from the great people at Lombard Hobbies. They had a event that they were going to at the Illinois Railroad Museum, and they brought me an order. That is service. Really appreciate Andrew doing that, bringing my order to me. And we ran some trains and had some great time together. And Lombard Hobbies is definitely a great group of people. They're not only in business, but they are all about being modelers themselves. So definitely appreciated that visit. Also wanted to mention that I still have a few coal hoppers available. These are the bathtub hoppers that I'm trying to sell. I'm picking up some Rapido 8-bay hoppers, which are more appropriate for the Evanston sub, and so I am keeping a lot of the bathtub hoppers that I picked up, but I'm trying to sell some extra ones. So if you want to pick some up for a great price, go to my website. It's in the description and also on the screen. All right, here's what we added this week. We put in the bench work and track for the Aspen Tunnels. Now this curve here that I cut out of the plywood, I actually cut a long time ago for the flyover just east of Evanston, and it was not sharp enough a curve. It was a wrong radius. But I saved it, and it works perfect for right here. You can kind of see how it all fits together. And, this is probably the greatest separation between the levels. It's like 17 inches here. But there is room for some actual scenery here. We're going to put a little mountain here and two tunnels. The tracks kind of separate from each other a little bit, and then go through two separate tunnels. I was kind of concerned a little bit about whether I'd be able to actually see the tunnels. I can see it if I bend over, but you don't really want to bend over the layout. It was more of a concern on this side because the lower level is a little bit wider from this side. I think it won't be any problem seeing the back tunnel, but the near tunnel is going to be a little bit difficult to see the portals. So that's why I put it together. I did a box frame for that straight section, and then for here I built the frame in place. Instead of building it in the garage and bringing it down, I decided to build the frame in place. So I put two 10-inch wide box frames along the wall at this point, and then once I had that in, then I put the diagonal pieces or the cross pieces from one to the other, and then I placed the curve that I cut out for the Evanston flyover, but it worked perfect for this area. I was able to get it all put together. So it actually went together fairly quickly. Didn't take much time at all. I think I did it in a day and a half. I substitute taught 2 days this past week, so I got a lot done. when you consider that 2 of the days were spent substitute teaching, which I like doing at our church school. And I was able to put this all together. As you can see, I was able to put the roadbed and track in and actually run some trains out onto the new area. I'm not too sure about this mountain. It's kind of like too symmetrical. I might maybe do a little bit of additional cutting on that. I'm not sure. We'll kind of see how it goes. And this is what I still had left to do at this point. I think this was like Thursday that I was recording this. But it all worked out pretty good. Once I had that done, then I did a chalk line. Now here you can see I actually put in 2 more sections here, but you can see a chalk line. I did a chalk line from that. Here's the end of the portion that I just did, and then I did a chalk line all the way, about 16 feet of chalk line, and then I put the additional pieces, which you can see are on there already. I put them in according to the chalk line. This turned out that the remaining connections between the two ends is about 0.65% incline. So I went ahead and put the 2 additional, these are just simple box frames, again, 10 inches wide. I used scrap, whatever scrap lumber I had. I was not going to buy any more lumber at this point. I think I'm done buying plywood sheets. But I spliced them together, and it's about 15 feet. So one's about almost 8 feet. The other one's a little bit less than that. Now this one here, I didn't do the long ways. I did the crossways because there's going to be a control point right here, which is also the reason why I didn't add any more track. At this point, I'm going to have to see here. You have the long piece here. On this section here, I did it a crossway, so I had room for the turnout motors when I put the control point in here. My grandson helped me put the cork roadbed on here. My 7-year-old grandson helped me glue it down. That was fun doing that with him. He really enjoyed it, I think. So there's going to be a control point, and then basically connecting the rest of the main line, and then we'll be done. I think I might have the golden spike next week sometime, possibly. It's just a short section here yet to do, but a couple of things are going to slow me down. One is the control point, so I have to do 4 turnouts. I have 2 of them built. I have to build 2 more. And then I'm going to have some kind of a swing out section here so that I can open this door. Now I did already make plans or have built this lower section so that it drops down. But here for the upper level, I'm going to have a section that swings out. So it's going to take a little bit more time to build this last section. But I think it's possible. I may be able to put in the control point, put in the rest of the track, build that last section of bench work with the opening section and then the rest of the track. And so we may have a golden spike. I'm thinking maybe Thursday or Friday or Saturday. We'll see. All right, let's run some trains on the new section. So we're out at at Evanston now, which is where the Evanston Yard is, and we're going to run a couple trains onto the new trackage, which is always the best part of adding more. So we do have a flashing yellow here. We have 2 trains getting ready to go. At this point, the main line is right-hand running, but we're going to go ahead and put the left-hand running first, since we can only come from this direction at this point in time. So we're going to run a tank train through the area first, and that would be followed by a slack train. So this train It's headed up by a scale trains, Tier 4 GEVO, and then an Athearn SD70ACE, and scale trains tankers. Excuse me. So this will be the throat, one end of the yard. There'll be a throat here. You can see I do have a turnout there to go from the main line into the yard. Then there'll be a throat for 7 tracks plus some engine service tracks, and then the track coming back this way will be the drill track, so that the yard crew can work the yard without coming onto the main line. Alright, so this is Evanston, and this is the flyover that I built quite a while ago. And I used the initial curve that I cut was too broad, and so I had to cut a second one that was a little bit sharper to get it to go into the little section there between the furnace and the wall. And again, I saved the first curve, and I'm using that for the Aspen Tunnels. Alright, here it is coming on the other side of the wall. Now, some people had suggested that I would or asked me why I didn't scenic this area here. I guess I just figured this was still part of the layout infrastructure, just like the staging yard is, and the track in the furnace room there. So this is, I consider this to be part of the layout infrastructure yet, and then just like the lower level staging, it transitions then from the layout infrastructure to the modeled portion of the layout. And for the upper level, the transition takes place right about here. You can see now it has the cork road bed, so this will be ballasted and scenic with the backdrop and everything. So this is where the modeled portion will be for the upper level. And it's where the main line makes a transition from the lower level to the upper level. And here you can kind of see where the tunnel portals will be. Main line separate a little bit and then go into 2 separate tunnels, just like on the prototype. So I tried to get this where I'm not leaning over, trying to get the idea how it's going to look as you're standing. So on this side, since the lower level is a little bit wider on this wall, for the foreground track, you won't be able to see the complete tunnel portal, but you'll definitely be able to see it entering and exiting that portal. So this is about as far as we've gotten so far. It's about another 18 feet of track. Here we'll run the other track. This is a stack train headed up by a Heritage unit, MKT. That's an Athearn SD70ACE. And then has with it a CN GEVO. So it also has a signal now, so it will head towards the Aspen Tunnels from Evanston. You can see the bulldozer is still working to make sure that the yard area is perfectly flat. You get a good look at the entire Evanston Yard area, and then the upper level above it. This is going about 18 scale miles per hour at this point. Maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 15. I think the general speed on the layout is going to be about 20 scale miles per hour. Going to have, I think, a limit on the speed of 25 miles per hour. And then 20 or less for the Wasatch Grade area, which is the major incline from Echo Canyon up to Wasatch. And again, here we come on the other end of the furnace room. So from Evanston going east, we head towards the Aspen Tunnels. On the prototype, the Aspen Tunnels is the summit of the entire Evanston sub. So we're still climbing altitude here. It's about a 1% incline here. Then once we go past at the Aspen Tunnels, there should be a grade going back down. On the layout, it's going to continue up, but it's going to be a much less of an incline. But this is a right-hand running at this point, so for the most part, when you see trains heading eastbound, they'll be on this track. And this is kind of your view. This is not leaning over, it's just standing next to the layout. So you won't be able to see the entire tunnel portal unless I move it forward. Might move it back a little bit yet too, but you kind of get an idea of the view. Here is where you have less of a view of the tunnel portal. But I think it's going to be pretty cool still. Hey, now one thing that's kind of nice about having that extra trackage is that we can now, with the train being completely in the other room, we can see the trains coming back the other way through the furnace room. And I did move the lead locomotive to the other end of the train now, and we're heading back the other direction. Once I get the main line completely done, I will not need to do any more turning of trains around. Now we do have a red here, so we will come to a stop at this point. See if we can get a green signal, or at least a yellow. Hey, looks like we get a green. I may be wondering why the train had to wait here and didn't get a green right away. What's going on up ahead to cause this to have to stop? And mainly what happened is I forgot to set it to green when I took off in the first place. But we're ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and head out the rest of the way. We'll go ahead and see the entire train here. Best part about seeing the entire train is being able to see the DPU pushing from the rear. Going to have 12 trains, actually 13 trains, if you include the one at Pocatello. And almost all of them are going to have DPU either mid-train or at the end, probably mostly at the end, but we'll probably have a few mid-train ones also. There will only be 3, possibly 4. I'm not sure what the Pocatello train is going to be, but we will have a few that will not have DPUs. This particular one is SD70ACE, and it's by Athearn. All right, we'll also get a chance to see what the trains look like at the lower level. See what kind of a vantage point we have with the upper level in place. So we'll go ahead and run a manifest train out. This is headed up by another Scale Trains Tier 4 GEVO. And I believe that's an SD90 Mac by Athearn. One of the locomotives that Andrew brought over from Lombard Hobbies. It was cool to have an order that I placed delivered in person. That's pretty cool. Yep, that is definitely a SD90 Mac by Athearn. As you can see, there's quite a bit of separation. There's, I think, 17 inches, maybe a little bit more here. So the trains look really nice going on the lower level, not any distraction at all from the upper level. Now there is one spot right in the middle of this curve where it does go just a little bit underneath the upper level, but hardly noticeable at all. Definitely in full light. The complete backdrop here, there will be a curved backdrop that I'm going to put in here for the lower level. That's going to be completely visible. All the buildings will be completely visible, so it's going to look pretty good. Here you can see how it affects it going down towards the Taggart Tunnels. Again, pretty good separation between the levels. The upper level is back, so I think it looks pretty good. Very happy, and just a little section there yet to do. Definitely looking forward to having that last section done and have the main line complete. I want to thank everyone for watching this video, and definitely thank you for your interest, and make sure you like and subscribe. If you haven't yet, hit the little bell for notifications so you'll know when the videos posted. Comments are always appreciated. Thanks again for watching. Everybody have a great week. Take care.